The Marikana Massacre case against Cyril Ramaphosa and the Sibanye-Stillwater is in court this morning. It relates to the death of 34 mine workers in 2012. Ramaphosa is being sued in his personal capacity and as Lonmin director at the time. eNCA reporter Aviwe Mtila joins us now for more. Good morning, Aviwe. You know, this particular lawsuit relates to that tragic event from 2012. So most certainly a lot of emotion would follow or accompany this type of a lawsuit. What are we expecting today in court?
Almost 10 years in August since that tragic incident happened. In fact, it's 369 mine workers from Marikana taking on the president as the first respondent, as well as Lonmin, which is now Sibanye-Stillwater, and the third respondent being government. And basically, they're accusing the president and the other respondents of actively inciting violence, as well as exerting pressure, as well as the president using his political influence to the tragedy that we saw. Of course, that follows that email that happened on the 15th of August from President Ramaphosa, who was then one of the directors of Lonmin, suggesting that there needed to be concomitant action that was taken. And then, of course, on the 16th of August, we then saw the actions where that led to the 34 mine workers that were gunned down. In fact, this matter was supposed to appear last year, but the judge Lamont had to recuse himself because of the close affiliation he had with Sibanye-Stillwater, having some shares worth 225,000 rand. In fact, one of the attorneys representing the 369 mine workers joins me now. That is Andre Singoma. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. I understand, among other things, the 369 mine workers are suing for R1 billion. Maybe tell us more.
Thank you, Aviwe, and thanks for having me. The miners essentially are suing for that the president must unconditionally apologize for what transpired in Marikana. You would understand that one of the main causes of the massacre was the president characterizing as a director of Lonmin as well as a shareholder the labor dispute as a dastardly criminal act. And at the end he had said that the police must go and act with concomitant action, which essentially means they must go and do what they would do to criminals. Now, there is a financial damages that our clients are looking at, but the main thing is, one, an apology which is unconditional, and second, a reconciliatory process that the president must participate in with the miners of Marikana.
There's this email that you mentioned there, and President is the first respondent, where it talks of this concomitant action. I want you to take us to how you got to the point where you're saying that the president then actively incited violence.
You'll remember that immediately after the massacre in Marikana in 2012, which is 10 years back, the then President Jacob Zuma set up a commission of inquiry headed by Judge Falam. Now, Judge Falam, as we went through the evidence of what transpired before the 16th of August when people were massacred, we found emails that the current President Cyril Ramaphosa admitted that it was him that sent out those emails that was characterizing the labor dispute as a criminal act. And it was thereafter, a day after. The emails were sent on the 15th of August, which was on Wednesday. On Thursday, at 4 o'clock, people were mowed down. So there is a direct link between the emails that the president wrote as well as the murdering of the people that died during that time in Marikana.
This matter has been for a long period. I mean, in August we'll be marking 10 years since the Marikana Massacre. It seems like nothing much has happened. Why the delays?
We have issued summons against the government as well as against the President Cyril Ramaphosa in his personal capacity and Lonmin. Now, the actions against government has been proceeding to an extent that we expect to have arguments about quantums, payments of amounts in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria on the 26th of August up until the 19th of, on the 26th of July until the 19th of August. Now, in this matter, the presidency issued out what we call an exception. An exception is a document out of which a president says the summons does not issue or indicate a course of action. But the president's lawyers have then not proceeded and made sure that this matter serves itself before the court. So it had to be the applicants themselves, the miners themselves, that crowdfunded and brought this matter before the court now.
Okay, and then where are we when it comes to compensation for the miners? It's been 10 years since the massacre. Have any been compensated so far?
It's only very sad that the government has not even paid a cent towards any of the injured Marikana miners, and it's been 10 years now. We have had to approach the High Court in Pretoria, and the court gave us dates of the 26th of July up until the 19th of August for us to have arguments with the state parties as to how much must be compensated or paid to which miner. So we're only hoping for justice seemingly out of the courts.
Just lastly, I know it's going to be a virtual appearance today, but what can we expect in court?
The parties are going to be coming through to court. The minors are going to be coming through to court just like they did with the previous time when the matter was before the court. Expectation is that the lawyers for the president will be arguing that there is no connection between what has been stated in our summons together with the killing of the people that died around that time in Marikana. And our counsels are going to also be arguing that that is a matter for determination by a court, not for an exception. So we expect that this court will come to a conclusion that says the president must be held personally liable for what transpired in Marikana together with lawmen, and he must go and make an unconditional apology, and he must go participate in a reconciliatory process with the miners in Marikana.
And this is a civil matter. Any prospects of a criminal matter?
The basis, the onus of proving a criminal matter as well as a civil matter are totally different. Now, in a criminal matter, we understand that some parties or some people have gone on to lay criminal charges against the president. It will be for the prosecution to make a determination as to whether or not they would want him to appear in a criminal matter. As at now, this is a civil matter for which the parties here are supposed to prove on a balance of probability that the president indeed sent out the email, and indeed it was as a result of that email that they were shot and mowed down the way that they were. So this does not relate to a criminal matter. This is just a request for the president to apologize and to reconcile with the miners of Marikana.
Okay, thank you very much. Andries Nkome, representing some of those 369 mine workers that will be here at the High Court in Johannesburg, basically asking the president, among others, as well as lawmen, which is now Sibanye-Stillwater, and the government itself, to apologize for the massacre that happened 10 years ago in Marikana.
All right, Aviwe, we'll leave it there for now. That's senior reporter Aviwe Mtila in Johannesburg for us. More news.